Trucking's a little bit different from other industries in certain ways. One of them is all the equipment is always outside. In the springtime, summertime, autumn, not fall, and winter. So this is Timothy Jensen with Jensen Transport in Independence, Iowa. As a trucking company, a couple things we need to look at as the seasons change and turn, especially coming into autumn. With the lower temperatures at night, I think last night we got down to about 50. That guy's obviously late for work. Don't hire that guy. When coming down to about 50, one thing that happens is your tires, the air in the tires, they contract a little bit just because of the cold weather. It's a bigger deal when, say, you're airing a tire that comes in. You're not ever supposed to adjust air in a tire when it's hot. What does that mean when it's hot? Not ambient temperature, but like when someone comes in off the road, the tires are warm from having driven it. And when you drive, if you have any weight on there, you have tire flex. So even with our equipment, you're almost 30,000 pounds just when you're empty. So when you drive down the road, as you bounce and the tires move and flex, it generates heat. That heat goes into the air inside the tire, which can cause it to have a different air pressure than what it may have as a cold air pressure. So when Michelin is out here checking tires for a fleet survey, or we're checking tires in the shop or in the yard, you always want to check tires and adjust air pressures when the tires are at ambient temperature or whatever the outside temperature is. You're going to get your best product out of there, product being your best results out of adjusting to the ambient temperature. When it gets colder like this outside, you've got a little bit of cold air inside the tire, which is going to be a little bit different from if we're ambient temperature like yesterday. I think it was a little bit colder. It's in the mid 70s, but last week, say if we had a tire in the shop and we aired up a tire and it was, I think it was like 87 one day. So if we're airing up a tire outside, it's 87 degrees last week, and this week it's 50, you're going to see a little bit of difference in the pressures and in the amount of air in that tire just because of the temperature. There's actually a chart you can find online. If you're really that interested, you can Google that stuff. Some fancy tools actually, when you check tire pressures, it will figure out what your current ambient temperature or outside temperature is based upon also the pressure of the tire, and it'll give you an adjusted tire pressure. It's not very common. Most people don't have it. Most people don't need that. So one thing we're doing here in autumn, hey, shout out to anybody named Autumn out there. You guys are great, fantastic. Keep following the channel. So one thing we're doing in autumn is we're making sure that those tires are checked, make sure they're not low, make sure they're adjusted. So we do try to get all of our equipment through our shop about every 4 weeks, which is pretty aggressive schedule actually for that. But even there, all of our drivers should be doing the pre-trips and the post-trips and their inner trips in between. So if you switch trailers in the middle, you're supposed to still be checking that stuff. So you got to keep your tire pressures up. Very important for carrying the load weight. Very important for having good tire results. Another reason to use Michelin. And no, I'm not sponsored by Michelin, but I have met Bib. He's a great guy. Anyway, check your tires, especially in your passenger cars. You'll notice that when you come around. So just start looking at your tires. Sometimes on a car, you're only holding 30, 35 PSI in your tires in your car for most of them. Always check inside the door, usually the driver's side door. There's a little sticker right on the inside of the driver's door. Same thing on a truck as well. Tells you the proper tire inflation, so you know exactly where you're supposed to be. So Timothy Jensen, Jensen Transport in Independence, Iowa. Make sure you're checking your tires when it gets cold here, and we'll talk to you soon.